June 6, 1944. Normandy Beach. A Sherman tank takes a direct hit from German fire. The crew scrambles out as flames erupt. The mission seems doomed, but one man stays behind. Sergeant Curtis Kulin had no engineering background, no formal training, just a bold plan with scrap steel and a welding torch. His superiors thought it was madness, yet what he created in mere days would transform the stalled invasion. One damaged tank, one determined mechanic, and a device so straightforward, so effective, that General Bradley demanded hundreds produced on the spot. This is the untold tale they skip in textbooks, the account of how a sergeant with a torch rescued the Normandy campaign. Stay tuned, because the outcome stunned the Allied command. Normandy, France, July 1944, over a month after D-Day, and the Allied push had stalled completely. Not from German panzers or heavy guns, but from ancient hedgerows. These were no ordinary garden fences. Norman hedgerows were massive embankments of soil, rocks, and intertwined roots, constructed by farmers across centuries to divide fields. Some towered 15 feet high and equally wide. The roots plunged 10 feet deep or more. They formed natural strongholds, crisscrossing the Bocage countryside like a labyrinth. For American tankers, these hedgerows turned into lethal ambushes. Whenever a Sherman tank attempted to scale one, its thin underbelly armor faced upward, the weakest spot on the vehicle. German troops, lurking on the far side with Panzerfausts or anti-tank guns, would hold their fire. As soon as the Sherman's underside showed, they struck. One blast, one destroyed tank. Time and again, Sergeant Curtis Kulin from the 102nd Cavalry Reconnaissance Squadron witnessed this horror. He saw tanks near a hedgerow tip upward in the climb, then explode in fireballs. Crews seldom escaped. Survivors were scarred, injured, or worse. Medical teams struggled to keep up. Burial squads labored endlessly. The strategic crisis was dire. Allied strategists had projected advances 30 miles inland by then, racing to Paris. Instead, forces bogged down in the dense hedgerow grid, gaining near hundreds of yards daily. Each meadow became a fierce fight. Every hedgerow posed a fresh obstacle. The Germans required no vast backups. They simply sheltered behind these earthen walls and targeted American tanks as they revealed their weak points. Kulin lacked engineering credentials. He held no university degree. Pre-war, he fixed automobiles and trucks in Cranford, New Jersey, but he grasped machinery deeply. He knew leverage in physics. Watching another Sherman incinerate after a hedgerow attempt, an insight struck him. The issue lay not in the hedgerows alone. Tanks were ascending over them rather than slicing through. If a way existed to carve at ground level, bulldozing straight ahead instead of climbing, the tank would avoid exposing its belly. Germans could not hit what remained hidden. But how to penetrate 10 feet of packed dirt, stone, and roots? These barriers had endured centuries of elements. They demanded immense force, applied precisely. Kulin began doodling concepts in his pocket notebook. His comrades teased him lightly. "There goes Kulin again," they chuckled, fixing the war with sketches. They said it warmly, yet with doubt. Experts had tackled the hedgerow dilemma. None succeeded. Why would one sergeant fare better? Kulin brushed off the doubts. He had learned mechanics often got overlooked. Folks figured manual work meant no intellect, but skilled mechanics solved riddles daily. Each fix was a challenge. You observed mechanics, forces at play, coaxing reluctant equipment to function. Hedgerows were merely tough equipment. They needed convincing, nothing more. And Kulin believed he had the method. He required a salvaged tank, scrap steel, and an officer bold enough to approve. Sergeant Kulin presented his wild scheme to his superior, likely a captain in his chain of command. He proposed attaching steel tusks to a Sherman's front, crafted from German beach defenses known as Czech hedgehogs, strewn across the landing zones. These tusks would serve as massive blades. The tank would charge the hedgerow full throttle, tusks gouging and tearing through soil and roots, forging the passage. The officer eyed Kulin skeptically. "So, you intend to grab a battle-worn tank, weld junk metal on it, and smash it into eddy? A solid mound on purpose. That is your strategy?" "Yes, sir," Kulin responded steadily. The alternative sees tanks mounting hedgerows, offering their undersides to enemy fire. My approach maintains frontal armor toward threats. Germans struggle against thick front plating. They crave the belly hit. Deny that, and tanks survive. The officer pondered quietly. The reasoning held. But altering tanks amid combat, testing unproven gear in battle. Failure could waste vehicles and lives. Success might unlock progress. How long to assemble this? The officer inquired. Grant me a short window, welding gear and beach scrap access. I will have a model ready soon. The officer greenlit it, a choice that shifted the Normandy effort. You have limited time. If it flops, we face tough questions from brass. Kulin saluted and dove in. He gathered a torch, welding tools, and helpers. Then they scoured the beaches from the D-Day assaults. Those shores brimmed with German barriers, meant to halt landings but mostly evaded in the storming. The Czech hedgehogs suited Kulin perfectly. These steel traps consisted of crossed iron girders, like oversized caltrops, forged from tough metal and heavy. Germans had sown thousands, aiming to impede tanks and boats. Now they lay as rear-seizable debris. Kulin and his team torch-cut the hedgehogs. Laboring non-stop, they shaped beams to 4 feet lengths. They homed the ends. They strengthened joints. By day's end they had prongs prepared, each robust as a seal. Rail and solid. Next came the tricky part, affixing these to a Sherman's bow without harming its frame or mobility. Prongs needed low placement to strike hedgerow bases, spaced for wide cuts, durable against crashes without failure. Do you believe this succeeds? A helper welder asked. It will, Kulin affirmed, donning his mask. Physics backs it. Steel blades propelled by 30 tons of tank versus dirt and roots. The earth yields, not the steel. By next morning, the upgrade finished. The Sherman sported steel tusks up front, resembling a beast's fangs. Troops clustered to inspect the oddity. Some admired, others doubted. Bets circulated on Culin's fate, praise or punishment. It resembles a rhino charging, one quipped. Culin touched a prong fondly. Exactly, this rhino will charge through every barrier to Paris. The officer inspected the bonds, probed Crom's sturdiness. Fine, Sergeant, your device is built. Now demonstrate it. Soon we select a dense hedgerow and test if it is brilliance or folly. That evening, Culin lay awake, replaying formulas. Math checked out. Design seemed sturdy, but practice differed from plans. What if prongs broke? What if the tank jammed? What if it worsened matters? Yet he recalled charred Shermans, lost crews. Hedgerows made Normandy a tank cemetery. Change was essential. If his concept triumphed, it could preserve countless souls. Dawn would reveal. Early light barely rose when Culin's altered Sherman advanced. To a formidable hedgerow, chosen for trial. It loomed 12 feet, aged and daunting. Officers assembled, including higher ranks from headquarters. The tank's volunteers crewed it, driver, gunner, loader. Brave souls, perhaps reckless too. As they sealed hatches and the motor growled, watchers hushed. Kulin stood among them, pulse racing. His work hinged on moments ahead. If victorious, it could redefine the campaign. If disastrous, blame fell on him. Prepared? The officer queried Kulin. As ever, sir. The officer signaled go. The Sherman's roar intensified, exhaust puffed dark. Then it accelerated, 30 tons hurtling at the wall. The collision thundered, the tank quaked, soil burst, roots cracked sharply. Briefly it paused, buried in the mound. Breaths held, then gradually it pressed on. Tusks functioned, burrowing deep, leveraging, shredding roots and rock. The tank dipped forward mildly, belly safe, front armor outward. More roots gave. Debris tumbled off. The engine strained. Suddenly, the Sherman emerged opposite, carving a clean gap, broad for followers, low to shield undersides. Cheers exploded. Kulin weakened with relief. It succeeded. His notion proved real. The crew opened up, beaming. Smoothest crossing yet, the driver yelled. Minimal jolt inside, no belly exposure. A major neared Kulin gravely. Sergeant, how fast can you replicate these? With ample welders and steel, my team could outfit 10 tanks daily, more with effort. Not sufficient, the major friend. stated, Kulin's spirit dropping. Then he grinned. I will secure 50 welders and endless supply. Target 100 tanks by week's close. I am reporting to General Bradley now. This shifts all. The officer patted Kulin's shoulder. Well done, Sergeant. From mad tinkerer to savior of the drive. But Kulin held back joy. Sir, one trial proves little for battle. We must test against live German defenses, under fire. That confirms true value. The officer agreed somberly. Expected that. A German outpost 2 miles off has blocked us 3 days. Approach is hedgerow lined, crossings deadly. If your tool works there, it seals the proof. When, sir? Dawn tomorrow. You join as advisor, ride along. Observe issues firsthand. Kulin gulped. He preferred building over riding, but logic held. Combat views could refine. Agreed, sir. Ready then. That night, Kulin inspected every joint on the Sherman. He secured fittings, scanned for cracks from testing. All solid, but war defied plans. A crewman spotted him toiling by light. Rest up, Sergeant. Big push ahead. Sleepless. Too many thoughts. Frightened, Kulin pondered falsehood. Chose truth. Yes. Theory in one test succeeded, but tomorrow lives ride on my calculations. If flawed, we rely on you, the crewman stated. You crafted it, know it best. Tomorrow we smash those walls, end German hiding. Culin envied the faith, but prepped as able, hoping his ideas shone. Dawn arrived drizzly, greying the fields. Kulin boarded the Sherman, now dubbed Rhino by crew, positioning to advise. Nerves knotted. The scheme was simple. Rhino spearheaded a group to the German hold. It would slice barriers that halted prior moves. Foot soldiers trailed, using gaps to advance Sun's open kills. Orders came to mount. Motors thrummed. Rhino lurched. Tusks slick in rain. They neared first hedgerow. Intel placed a German machine gun beyond, decimating infantry days prior. Standard would climb, belly bare to panzerfast piercing weak plate. Steady, Kulin intercommed. Strike at 20 degrees for bite. Got it, driver affirmed, angling. Crash jarred bones. Dirt and roots flew. Crew braced but held. Tusks endured. Tank shoved. Motor wailing. Tracks grinding. Tearing old growth. Then through, facing startled Germans fumbling their gun. Sherman's cannon fired first. Shell erasing the danger pre-response. It functions, a crewman cheered. Combat proven. No pause for cheers. More walls ahead, potential foes behind each. Rhino pressed, breaching repeatedly. Tusks excelled each time. Tank appeared before Germans aimed anti-tank. Trailing infantry thrilled. First since D-Day, advances flowed minus hedgerow pins. They surged through openings, ousting firm German spots. Then, the stern test. Reports warned a Panther tank, lethal with its 75mm gun, outranging Shermans. Stuck in breach, Rhino sat vulnerable. Enemy ahead, gunner warned. Panther half hid behind wall. Kulin thought fast. Retreat possible. Summon barrages, cautious. Play. But Invention aimed to rewrite rules. Breach it, Kulin commanded. Full speed. Emerge gun ready on Panther. Pace is key. Driver pushed. Collision immense. Thickest yet. Momentarily, tusks strained en masse. Power up, Kulin urged. All in. Motor howled. Smoke billowed. Tracks spewed soil. Inch rise Rhino forced ahead. They broke through angled. Not ideal but sufficient. Gunner trapped Panther. Firing is emerged. Round hit side plating. Weaker spot. Piercing. Panther smoked. Crew fled. Machine guns urged surrender. Infantry secured captives. An officer neared Rhino, smiling wide. Sergeant Kulin, your tank magic took in hours what days failed. Outpost fallen. Kulin exited shaky. It worked in fight, against positions, amid bullets. Idea validated. Officer arrived, radio buzzing. Word from above. General Bradley seeks you. Report impressed. Naming it Kulin Hedgerow cutter. Ordering hundreds now. Hundreds. Kulin absorbed. His quick fix from scrap to mass issue across armor. Sir, I am mechanic only. Not sure I. You cracked the hedgerow code, officer cut in. Embrace it. You altered the war. Within days of Rhino's battle win, Depots got directives for cooling cutters. Engineers' weld teams arrived. More hedgehogs scavenged. Field lines ran constant. Kulin detached, trained crews depot-wide. He demonstrated prom angles, weld methods, reinforcements versus stress. Crucial, he told groups, prongs low dig. High, tank tips belly up. Low, mere dirt push sans root cut. Position here, 15 degrees down. Optimal slice. Welders doubted crudeness initially, but footage of rhinos ploughing unbeatable walls turned doubt to zeal. They sped, proud of fits. General Omar Bradley toured a site, finding Kulin welding, teaching. Sergeant Kulin, I assume. Kulin saluted stars. Yes, sir. Relax. Here to meet who freed my forces. Bradley beamed. Invention, simple genius. Weeks we hurled complex fixes, artillery, chargers, dozers, none reliable. You with scrap and torch solve in days. Sir, did what required. Bradley nodded. True soldiers do. Recommending Legion of Merit, field bump to technical sergeant. Need thinkers like you. Post Bradley, comrades congratulated, but Kulin mixed. Praise genius, medals, rises, yet deaths continued. Tool aided, not miracle. War ongoing. A prototype helper pulled aside. All right, Surge, seam down. I am. But ponder lost crews pre-invention. If sooner thought, pushed. Cannot dwell. Helper fern. Past unsavable, but present yes. Daily more cutters roll through. Fewer burn. Counts most. Kulin knew truth. Guilt lingered. Quiet times. Recalled early D-Day weeks. Climbers dying. If faster. Insistent. War denied regrets. Demanded forward. Solve now. Save today. As cutters spread, field troops suggested tweaks. Brilliant base, but improvable. Crews added fifth central prong, for thick cuts. Others serrated edges for root grip. Commanders plated welds versus billets. Culin welcomed. Design not flawless, functional. Field betters it, he learned. Best from users, he told correspondent. I concepted, but crews refined. Shared now. One smart third armored tweak noted clogging for a debris, cutting repeat, efficacy. They added harrow, like clear, as moved. Minor, but enabled chain breaches sans manual clean. Kulin added to training. Genius, he told welders. Missed debris. Field tanker fixed. Engineering evolves with user input. Germans baffled initially by breachability. Captured reports confused. Enemy passes hedgerows sans vulnerability. Method unknown. On realizing, counters tried. Mined reinforcements. Angled guns. Fake traps with weights. None consistent. Core issue persisted. Cutter kept front armor enemy ward. Proper tactics. Counters failed. By August 1944, Normandy breakout to France race. Cutters standard. US factories added mount points on new Shermans. Field hack official design. Culin reshaped tank builds. Beyond bocage to open lands. Cutters less hedgerow use. But tankers found surprises. Urban. Prongs smashed walls, barricades. Crashed sniper nests. Noise terrified, prompting surrenders. Rivers. Prongs gripped mudbanks, aided climbs. Winter. Plowed snowdrifts. Multi-tool emerged. Kulin, now master sergeant on eval team, studied uses. Not envisioned, he wrote home. Hedgerow goal, but soldiers adapt. Battlefield versatile. Bulge battle, December 1944. Germans felled trees blocking. Cutters cleared, capped momentum. Report noted cutter shoving foe tank aside, unblocking column. Hooked skirt, pushed with travel. Effort. Avoided hours delay. Culin amused. Bushcutter moving panzers. War sparks creativity, but downsides. Overuse broke prongs on concrete. Welds failed lifting. Visibility mix-ups, mistook silhouettes for enemy, friendly fire. Culin engineered training. Tool not magic, he stressed. Limits exist. Misuse breaks or kills. Proper saves, achieves. By 1945 early, Germany push, cutters normalized. Newbies knew no sense. Innovation doctrine integrated. For Culin gratifying, bittersweet. Success forgot problem. Cutters just tank part, unnoted. True success sign, officer said. Unimaginable otherwise. You erased issue fully. Not all positive. Human toll. Cutters sped armor, commanders aggressive. Some rushed attacks precaution. taking hits avoidable. Culin grappled guilt. Tool overconfident makers. You saved, Chaplain soothed. Command choices theirs. Cannot control use. Aim good over harm. German side, Cutter's quickened campaign. Saved allies, but killed more defenders in haste versus slow grind. Intellect war goal. Emotional hard. Killed unseen, Culin confided. Invention enabled efficient kills. Decorated for that. Feels odd. Helper quiet. Odd to me watching burn pre. You ended. Killed yes. Weapon does. But saved Americans. Shortened war. Daily deaths all sides. Faster end saves. Even if not felt. Practical unforeseen. Logistics strain. Fast advance outpaced supply. Units halted fuel less. Vulnerable. Kulin mit log officers. Tool boosts effect. Now supply faster advances. Odd. Sergeant advising strategy. But inventor view heard. Army adapted procedures for tempo. Oddest, fame psychological. Culin army known, genius solver. Autographs, briefings, interviews, hated. Uncomfortable he told officer, just idea guy. No beach storm gun charge. Welded metal. Why hero when true died daily? Modest good, officer said. But mind heroism as courage. Both win wars. Except earned. Kulin relented. Never easy. Still Jersey mechanic bushcutting. Germany yielded May 8, 1945. Europe war end. Kulin with unit in German town. Saw joy, relief, weary. Cutters aided victory. Estimates shortened Normandy weeks. Cascade faster France. Paris free. Rhine cross. Berlin near. Days saved lives. Resources, pain less. Citations credited Kulin Cutter key Normandy success. Ops after. Eisenhower termed top war innovations. Kulin got Legion merit. Bronze Star. Allied command commend. Warrant officer promote. Home papers named. Symbol ingenuity. Soldier sense scrap solving expert stumps. But town watching celebrate. Kulin hollow. Problem solved irrelevant. War done. Hedgerows year past. Invention footnote. In millions dead conflict. Thinking deep. Helper said with beers. Reflecting. Kulin took 1 year back welding prongs. Hoping. Now over. What meant. Saved lives. Helper. Simple. Mine likely. Infantry pre-weld transfer. Sans breach. Dead. Hundreds too. Mattered. Doubt not. Silent drank. Sunset ruined land. Kulin pondered paths here. If idea dismissed. Simple. Permission denied. Test failed. Trial wrong. Any altered all. Strange, Kulin said. Ponder German tankers safe behind, then Americans burst impenetrable. Rules change overnight feel? Like loss, Helper said. Deserve starting mess. Kulin agreed, but lingered. More innovations fall. Edges sought. Surprises. Rules shifts. Cutter 1. Radar, fuses, armor, tactics others. Each obsoleted defenses, perhaps worthless. Warfare nature, but progress too. Solve war problem, prove solvable. Ingenuity tops insurmountable. What cutters now? Kulin mused. Thousands welded, no hedges. Scrap likely, Helper said. Or souvenirs. Job done. Tool enough. Curtis Kulin home, New Jersey, late 1945. Medals memories, war behind. Resumed garage fixes. Skills served peace. Good machines, problems, missed solutions. But hedgerow talk rare. War queries deflected. Mechanic, tank fixes, no thrill. No medals, innovation, campaign shift mention. Why fast reluctance? Hero true, proud be. I am, Kulin soft. But not for what? Tool helped kill. Saved Americans, matters, but killing. Prefer fix now, not break then. Decades, historians noted cutter significance. Books Normandy, docs innovations, manuals field engineering. But Kulin obscure outside. 1984, D-Day 40 years. Historian David Carter found Kulin, 73 retired. Book Tactical Innovations, interview inventor. Mr. Kulin, grasp significance. Analysts say shortened weeks, saved thousands, changed doctrine. 48 hours, no degree. Kulin paused. Then said, Carter quoted as ingenuity some. Not special. New machines, saw need solve. Special army chance try. How many ideas dismissed wrong source, problems unsolved tradition bound. Lucky. Idea tested. Guarantee 100 equal ideas ignored. But yours worked, Carter urged. Special you. Worked chance given, Kulin corrected. Officer could no. Crew refuse. Hire reject post-trial. But saw idea, not suggester. Lesson real. Not genius me, but ideas anywhere if listen. Curtis Kulin passed 1963. Obit local noted mechanic, veteran, quiet fixer, over-talker, no cutter. Neighbors unaware, car fixer altered World War II. But museums America Europe, preserve Kulin cutters. Steel chunks, Sherman fronts. Simple crude, effective revolutionary. Plaques explain role. Sometimes name Curtis Kulin, determined mechanic, accepting no unsolvable problems.